Hello everyone, welcome back our channel Legend Voice. The 7,000 men trapped between the sea and a massive army. No escape, no backup. So their leader did the unthinkable. He burned the ships. Today video topic is Tariq Ibn Ziyad, the man who burned his ships. A boy from the edge of the world in the late 7th century, in the harsh and untamed lands of North Africa. A boy was born into a world where survival was never guaranteed. His name was Tariq Ibn Ziyad. History does not preserve the exact details of his birth. There is no grand record of royal lineage, no palace, no celebration marked in golden ink. What we know is far more powerful. Tariq was most likely of Berber Hamazai origin, a people known for their resilience, independence, and fierce spirit. The Berbers lived close to the land. Their lives were shaped by mountains, deserts, and constant struggle. Strength was not a choice, it was a necessity. Tariq grew up in this environment. He learned early that life does not reward the weak. There were no shortcuts, no comforts, no guarantees, only endurance. But even among such people, Tariq stood out. He was quiet, observant, and disciplined. Not the loudest voice, not the most boastful, but the kind of person who watches, learns, and waits. There was something inside him, something that would not allow him to remain ordinary. A new identity, a new purpose. As the Islamic expansion reached North Africa, it did not arrive merely as a military force. It brought with it a new system, a new worldview, and a new sense of purpose. For many Berbers, including Tariq, Islam offered something deeper than power. It offered identity and direction. Tariq embraced it. This was a turning point in his life. He was no longer just a man trying to survive. He became part of something larger, something that demanded discipline, justice, and responsibility. At this time, North Africa was under the leadership of Musa ibn Nusayr, a highly capable and strategic governor of the Umayyad Caliphate. Musa was not a man who overlooked talent, and when he noticed Tariq, he saw potential. Not just strength, but intelligence. Not just obedience, but leadership. Tariq was placed under structured military training. He learned battlefield tactics, formations, command structure, and most importantly, control. Because true warriors are not defined by how they fight, but by when they choose to fight. Over time, Tariq rose through the ranks, not through privilege, but through performance, not through connections, but through consistency, until one day he stood not as a soldier, but as a commander. The opportunity across the sea. By the early 8th century, the situation across the Mediterranean Sea was unstable. The Iberian Peninsula, modern-day Spain, was ruled by the Visigoths, a kingdom weakened by internal divisions, political betrayal, and a fragile leadership structure. Their king, Roderick, had taken power amid controversy. Rival factions within his own kingdom opposed him. This instability created an opportunity. Musa ibn Nusayr understood something critical. Empires are not only defeated by force, they collapse when they are already broken inside. Initial small raids into Iberia showed promise. The land was vulnerable. So Musa made a bold decision. He would send an expedition across the sea, but not with a massive army, with a calculated force, and to lead it he chose Tariq Ibn Ziyad. It was a decision that would change history forever. The crossing into the unknown. In the year 711 AD, Tariq Ibn Ziyad stood at the edge of North Africa, looking across the waters that separated him from an unfamiliar land. Behind him, everything known. Ahead of him, uncertainty. With approximately 7,000 soldiers, mostly Berbers like himself, he began the crossing. The journey was not just physical, it was psychological. They were leaving behind safety, supply lines, and the comfort of retreat. When they landed on the southern coast of Iberia at a rocky outcrop that would later be named Jabal al-Tariq, the mountain of Tariq, today known as Gibraltar, history reached a moment that would define legend. The fire that changed everything. After landing, Tariq did something that would echo through centuries. He ordered his men to burn the ships. Flames rose into the sky as the vessels that had carried them across the sea were consumed. The soldiers watched in disbelief. There would be no return, no retreat, no second chances. Then Tariq stood before them and delivered a speech that would become one of the most powerful moments in military history. Where will you flee? The sea is behind you and the enemy is before you. You have nothing left but your courage and your patience. This was not madness, it was strategy. By removing the option of retreat, Tariq removed fear. Now, every man knew the truth. Victory was not just the best option, it was the only option. The Battle of Guadalete, news of the invasion reached King Roderick. He gathered a massive army, far larger than Tariq's force. Some estimates suggest tens of thousands of soldiers. Tariq had barely 7,000, later reinforced to around 12,000. The odds were overwhelming. The two forces met near the Guadalete River. What followed was not just a battle of numbers, it was a battle of discipline versus chaos, belief versus doubt, leadership versus arrogance. Tariq used the terrain wisely. He positioned his forces strategically, maximizing their effectiveness in confined spaces, but more importantly, he led from the front. He fought alongside his men. He shared their danger. And that changed everything. Because soldiers can sense fear, but they can also feel courage. The Visigothic army, despite its size, was divided. Internal betrayal weakened them further. Some factions reportedly abandoned the battlefield, and slowly the impossible began to happen. Roderick's army started to collapse. The tide turned, and then victory. Against all odds, Tariq Ibn Ziyad defeated one of the most powerful armies in the region. The Fatah of Iberia. After Guadalete, the path into Iberia opened. Cities fell one after another. Cordoba, Granada, Toledo, the capital. But what made this conquest different was not just speed, it was behavior. Tariq did not rule through blind destruction, he established order. He maintained discipline. He allowed local populations, including Christians and Jews, to live under agreements that ensured safety and rights. This approach reduced resistance. People who had suffered under previous rule often preferred stability over chaos. And so, the conquest expanded rapidly. Musa arrives. As Tariq's success grew, Musa ibn Nusayr himself crossed into Iberia with reinforcement. Together, they completed the conquest of most of the peninsula. However, historical sources suggest tension between the two. Was it rivalry, concern over authority, or simply political pressure from higher leadership? The truth remains debated. Eventually, both were summoned back to Damascus by the Umayyad Caliph. And this marked the beginning of a different chapter. The silence after greatness, after achieving one of the most significant military victories in history. Tariq Ibn Ziyad disappears from the spotlight. There are no grand celebrations recorded, no empire built in his name, no monuments raised during his lifetime. Some reports suggest he lived the rest of his life quietly, possibly in Damascus. No wealth, no obsession with fame, just silence. It is one of the most striking aspects of his story. A man who changed history and then stepped away from it. The end of a legend. The exact date of Tariq Ibn Ziyad's death is unknown. Most historians agree it was sometime after 720 AD. No dramatic final speech is recorded. No grand farewell, but perhaps that is fitting. Because Tariq was never chasing attention, he was chasing purpose. Final reflection. The lesson of fire, Tariq Ibn Ziyad's story, is not just about conquest, it is about a mindset, a moment, a decision. When he burned those ships, he did more than destroy wood and sail, he destroyed doubt, he removed hesitation, he forced commitment, and that is why his story still resonates today. Because in every life, there comes a moment where retreat is easy and forward is uncertain. And in that moment, the question is simple. Do you keep your ships or do you burn them? Ending lines. He didn't just conquer a land, He conquered fear itself, because sometimes the only way to win is to leave no way back. Thanks for watching.